So, the Tightrope map, we're going to watch the players do a little bit of a warm-up before we start. The maps are going to start here in just a second. And welcome to week 2 of the Tmgl. I am Jnic, here to present it to you. Hope you're going to enjoy. First map here is going to be Tightrope with Pack, Mime, Grenade, and Mutta playing it. Pack, as you can see on the top left corner, has the world record with a 1:10.47. But don't count the others out, because Mime actually has the 3rd fastest time in the world with a 1:10.66. So don't count them out. Also, we do remind, I have to remind you guys that it is a kind of a meta for these guys to practice offline so that the records don't get posted. So these guys might have something up their sleeve that we haven't seen yet. Looking at the players here, we have the match is starting in 3 seconds. We're gonna have a 10-second warm-up after this, and then the match is gonna go live. So the first match of the day. Ten seconds of warm-up for the players before we jump into the first round. And we're off. All the players are going to be really close here on the start, of course. Very nice inside line. People going for as outside of a possible line. You're going to get more speed the more outside you go. Inside for the Neo slide. Everybody seems to be doing it just fine. Mutta is a little bit behind, though. Taking a look from Mutta's perspective to see the entire group here in front. So far, so good. The pack is tight in the front here. Everybody going for a no slide line. Mutta, unfortunately, getting a little bit too much of that penalty. Pack in front. Mime right behind. Grenade trying to pressure. Mime with a more inside line. Trying to pressure Pack, getting the overtake. So far, we're talking 0.2 separating the players. We're heading into the last final drifts before the identity is going to happen. The identity is so tight. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody makes a mistake. Pack in the front. Smoothly driving through the identity. No problem for Pack, taking the first place with a 1:11.02. First point goes to Pack. Pack with the early lead, the current world record holder of Tightrope. Did we see a touch? I'm not sure if we saw a touch there from Mime. Didn't seem like he got any speed loss, though. Grenade here in the back, trying to pressure the midsection of the pack here. It seems just fine. Everybody is switching positions once again. It's a very tight field. Going for the no slide line once here. Landing in a left-handed drift. Trying to go for an inside line here from Grenade. It does seem to work out. Gaining a little bit of time up to Pack here. Mutta in the back. Going into this right-handed slide section on the sausage block. Mutta losing a little bit of time. Half a second behind, but don't count anybody out because it's all up to this last section of Tightrope. We have a few final drifts going into the identity. Taking a look here up front. Grenade, Mime trying to push up on Pack. Pack actually jumping out, and it's going to be Mime in front of Grenade. Mime taking it with 1:11.27. And that's what we're talking about. This ending is nothing to scuff at, because you can easily fall off just like that. Even though you're 0.2, 0.3 ahead of the pack, you still have to risk the ending. And that ending is not easy to get down. Jumping into the next round, Mime getting a beautiful inside Neo slide line Granati right behind him. I didn't see a Neo from Granati, but I don't think he lost too much speed from it. Mutta here in the back once again, trying to see if he can... What was that line? A little bit scuffed from Mutta, but he did manage to not hit any of the poles. Very well done. He's not out of the race yet. A little bit risky, but at least he did not crash. Pack trying to get in on Mime here. Granati and Pack, 0.2 seconds behind Mime. Going into the last couple of turns. Identity is incoming. Mime knows that he's very, very close to getting overtaken. And Mime actually clips the inside. Pack is trying to overtake, but Granati is the only one who makes it. And Granati is going to take the 3rd point. So far, 3 different players have gotten a point in 3 different rounds. And it's all because of the ending. Except for the first round, where Pack actually got a fully clean run. We're seeing Mutta being a little bit behind of the pack here on Tightrope. But we don't count him out yet. He's definitely a fast player, and he has shown it time and time again. Unfortunately, hitting the outside wall. Taking a look at the top of the field. Mime once again in front. Everybody going for a nice no drift section. Landing in a left-handed slide. Trying to get the inside line. Mime actually getting crawled up upon here by Pack. Pack is inching himself closer to Mime here. Pack and Mime trying to extend the lead. Granati trying to pressure. And we're heading into the identity once again. It is too close not to risk. Everybody's risking. Mime is doing it just fine. Pack almost falling off, but Mime maintaining the lead with a 111 low. And Mime is now the first player to jump into that finalist situation. It is now up to the other 3 players to deny him that finalist victory. Granati here with a really outside line, trying to get a little bit more speed. Does not get the Neo, but it just seems to work. He's still in first. Going for a no Neo line, I guess. I didn't see him get it last time either. That might be a Granati line there. Mutta up here with the field again. Going for the line between the light poles once again. Did not crash. He's not out of the round just yet. Mime trying to attack Granati right here. Wants to close it out. Granati needs to maintain that first place to deny Mime his finalist position. Mime going for a nice inside line right there. And he is advancing in on Granati. Slide overtake, and Mime goes into the identity with the lead. Granati actually getting way nicer of a line right there. That is so risky, but Granati here in the front. Is he going to maintain the lead? And he is doing it beautifully. Granati also getting himself that finalist position. It's a double finalist position right now. Mime and Granati fighting it out to close it down. We can't count Pack out yet, though. Pack, the current world record holder of the track, also has a point. Can turn it into a triple finalist situation right here. Mutta, unfortunately, 1.5 seconds behind, making a mistake early on in the map. Pack also clipping the inside right there, and it's going to be down to Mime or Granati. Who is going to close out that finalist? Both finalists right here, top 2 players. Mime 0.7 ahead, though. Is Granati going to be able to close it in a little bit? Trying to advance in on Mime. Mime trying to extend his lead. Currently, there's 0.7 of a second separating the players. But Mime knows that he still has to play a little risky in the ending. Granati, unfortunately, getting a little bit of a wonky line right there. And Mime is going to extend his lead even further. Half a second to Mime's name right here. Is he gonna make it in the end. And Mime actually falls out. Grenady gets the overtake, and Grenady is gonna get the closing in on his finalist. Mime falling out, and just like that, Mime gives up that finalist to Grenady. Grenady is the first victor. It is difficult. It's also in the mindset, guys. You know you're a second ahead, but even though you know you're a second ahead, you can't just take it slow. You still gotta make sure, because the others, they have nothing to lose. They're gonna full risk it. We see a mistake there from Pack actually hitting the hairpin. Mutta also with a mistake on the jump, and Mime seems to be able to just take it slow now. Is it more than 2 seconds of a lead here? 1.5 seconds down to Pack. But Pack saw what happened in the last round. And Mime is not in the clear yet. He has to get that ending. And Pack knows this. Pack maintaining a steady 1.5 seconds behind Mime. Really hoping for Mime getting that ending. Mistake again. Let's take a look at Mime, see if he does it cleanly this time. Left, right, does do it perfectly. Very nice to see. Mime securing that second place and also the win here on Tightrope. Let's take a look at Group 1 here, where there is only one winner and 3 people with 1 point. Kappa, Spam, and Gwen all have 1 point. Scratch that. Gwen just turned himself into a finalist. Carl Jr. has already won his spot. Kappa in front. Really tight drifts coming out here. Spam trying to close it out. Or close it in. Kappa extending his lead a little bit. The field is very tight. 0.2 separating all 3 players. Going into this left-handed dirt section. Kappa going wide, maintaining more exit speed. Spam had to go for a more tight line. But nothing is over yet. Only 0.2 separating the players. Gwen unfortunately making a mistake. It's going to be Kappa or it's going to be Spam. Kappa slowing down a little bit, but Spam hitting that corner. And Kappa is going to take it. Turning himself into a finalist as well. A double finalist situation. It is up to Spam to deny the 2 players. This identity definitely taking out a couple of names here. Kappa unfortunately hitting the inside of that turn. He's going to be behind a little bit. Both Spam and Gwen getting the Neo slide down. Gwen going for more inside line. Spam with more exit speed. They are neck and neck though. Both lining up for the no slide. Landing in this left-handed drift. Trying to go inside. Spam going a little bit wider. Is Gwen gonna capitalize a little bit? He is gaining a little bit on Spam, but we are talking hundreds. Still less than 0.2 separating the players, so it's all gonna be down to this identity once again. Is Spam gonna fail it this time? Or is he gonna do it cleanly? Both players. Spam really trying to deny Gwen the finalist, and Gwen makes a mistake. Spam denying both of them the finalist position, and we're gonna look into a triple finalist situation. Very interesting, guys. So this is the final round, triple finalist. Whoever wins this one is gonna win the map, together with Carl Jr. We see Kappa with a small mistake in the start. It's gonna be half a second behind, but nothing is over yet. He does touch though, and I think that's gonna be enough for Kappa to be out of it. Spam and Gwen still in it though. Spam did take it away from Gwen last round. Gwen trying to make sure that Spam doesn't get a 2 for 2. Inside line from Spam. Trying to pressure Gwen. Both players getting the slides down just right. Gwen is 0.3 behind. Spam is trying to advance in on him, but it is not easy. Gwen is a fast player, but he knows that if he just maintains a 0.3 deficit, he can still make up for it in the ending. Going into the identity right here. Final identity. Gwen in front, making it beautifully, getting all 3 turns perfectly, and Gwen is going to take the second victory spot here on Tightrope. I think that's going to be all the matches over right here. And we're going to jump into the second map. And the second map of the seeding. Now, the second map is Water Glider. We see Mime has world record on Water Glider, followed by Pack, Mudda, Masa, and Grenade. So we have Mime, Aurel, Bren, and Carl Jr. seems like a very interesting match. Mudda, Masa, Afi, and Kappa is also a good match. Oh, these are all very interesting. These are all very interesting. I think we're going to go with Group 1 here. Mime with the world record. Carl Jr. I want to see. He won his... Carl Jr., the 4-time world champion, won his group before we got to see him play. So let's take a look if he is comfortable on Water Glider as well. Going into the warm-up right here. So, taking a look. You can see this map is way more open. It is not as tightly packed. And that means that it's a way faster of a map. Not in terms of how, you know, how much time you spend on the map, but in terms of the speed that the players are going to be driving with. This is a fast-paced map. If you look here, in the ending of the map, I unfortunately can't really show it right here. But on the right side of the map, you see this pool section. That is where the identity is. That is the water glide, where the players are going to glide over the water with a reactor boost, trying to maintain grip on the water and get a good, nice, tight line. We're going to be seeing it in a second here. You can see the world record at the top left of the screen. Mime with a 57.125. Let's take a look at Carl Jr. Playing in the warm-up. We're going to see the players go for a no-slide line here, I think. Carl Jr. also going for it. So what we're going to see is the players going for a no-slide line, and then while they're gearing up, they want to be sure to drive straight. If they don't drive straight, if they start drifting while gearing up, they're going to lose a bunch of speed. So we're going to see the players go for a no-slide line into a gear up while driving straight. And if they get that, they're going to have a nice amount of exit speed. Carl Jr. going into the identity right here. You get a reactor boost, slow down. He actually slides out right here, and that's why he resets to the last CP. He wants to slow down enough to get a really inside turn, just like that. And that inside turn is what's going to be the deciding factor on who's going to win if it's a close race there in the end. But it is by no means an easy map here. Bren going in on the identity as well. Slow down inside line. And then full speed the rest of the identity. That slowdown into the inside line is super difficult. Not only because you can slide out, but also because the water mechanics in the game are not very often used, and the players have only had so much time to practice it. Now, these players have put hours and hours into practicing these maps, but it is so specific. The amount of speed you need is so specific. If one of the wheels starts going up into the air, that's when you get airtime. That's when you get the slowdown. It can be very, very difficult. Even though it looks like a slowdown and just a left turn, it's a lot more nuance to it than what you might just see on the surface level. And the warm-up is almost over, and we're gonna head into the first map of Water Glider. The first round of Water Glider. Players are gonna be close here in the start. We're gonna see the players try to minimize the drifting needed on the uphill, on the first uphill right there, because they have watery wheels, and that's... Oh, Bren, unfortunately hitting that outside line a little bit too much, clipping with his wheel. Aurel is gonna be on first, getting a really nice turn right there. Does get the gear up. Carl Jr. right behind him. Mime on third, 0.7 behind. This uphill right here is also going to be super risky. It's so easy to lose grip. Mime does do a little bit of a forwards and backwards. Aurel keeps the lead though. Carl Jr. with a mistake. Aurel 0.6 ahead of Mime. He has a little bit of time to work with. Let's see if he risks the finish here. Aurel in front. Gets a nice left-handed turn. Mime does not seem to be able to close it out, and Aurel is going to be taking the first round of the second map here in the Trackmania Grand League. Jumping out the underwater section. All the players are equal. Carl Jr. in the lead, trying to extend with a smaller drift. But Mime actually getting such a good exit speed already. Almost 0.1 ahead of the rest of the pack right there. Everybody going for the no-slide section. And Bren actually getting it beautifully. Carl Jr. in the back. Going into the uphill right here. Easy to slide out. Everybody seems to be doing it just fine. Everybody is on such a good pace. Carl Jr. unfortunately hitting the outside wall. The top three players here within 1/10 of each other. Bren getting the lead going into the identity. A slowdown right here. It is so tight. Bren actually getting more exit speed right here. Aurel on second place. Mime taking third at 57.6. Very nice time. Very, very nice time. We're looking at a top 7 world time coming in right there. Two separate players have now gotten a point. Aurel and Bren. Mime with the very good lead in the start again. We did see a mistake there in the start from Aurel, unfortunately, hitting the outside right there. It is going to be between Mime and Carl Jr. in the front. Bren not too far behind. Half a second to work with, though. Let's see if there's any mistakes coming in on the water section right here. You can easily slide out, just like Bren did right there. And Mime and Carl Jr. are going to be in the front. The two players without a point, looking to catch one. Both of them going super inside. Mime getting the line just fine, but it does look like he's sliding out, and Carl Jr. has more speed, and he's going to overtake in the ending, and Carl Jr. overtakes Mime on the last straight. 37 hundredths. Very nice. Very well played. What a snipe coming in from Carl Jr. Sniping the point away from Mime. Mime is now the only one without a point. Very nice start here coming in for Mime. Once again, he is in the lead in the start. Something he's doing there is definitely right. The pack is getting a little bit closer, going into this right-handed no-slide section. Mime, unfortunately, struggling a little bit with it. Bren on third, Carl Jr. on second, trying to close in on Aurel. Let's see if they're going to risk it here on the uphill. A little bit of airtime, but they do make it. Absolutely clean by the top 3 players right here. Aurel overtaking in the last section, going into the identity. Bren getting such an inside line, trying to overtake Aurel, but Aurel does have the speed to maintain first. What a nice attempt from Bren. Really risking the inside line right there, trying to overtake Aurel. Aurel does give himself the finalist position though. Mime is the only one without a point. World record holder. He's going to try to see if he can deny the other players and at least Aurel from getting the next victory right here. Going into the no slide section, we see one person trying to, or sliding out, unfortunately. Carl Jr. on first. Aurel and Mime sneaking up to him. Mime with a really rough drift right there, but it did seem like he saved it. So nothing too much loss. Carl Jr. going into the identity section on first. Bren trying to overtake. And it's such a tight pack going into the final left-handed turn right here. Who's going to get the best? Everybody gets it just fine. Carl Jr. here on first. Aurel trying to overtake it. He's going to get it in the ending. And Aurel actually overtakes with 11 hundredths of a second. 57.94. Such a close ending. Aurel closing it out here, getting the snipe in on all the other players. Aurel, the first victor of the second map here in Tmgl. Mime securing himself the champions bracket. Bren here on first. Carl Jr. and Mime trying to get in on him. Mime unfortunately touching the outside wall. Bren is alone in front. Carl Jr. also touching the outside wall here. Bren does seem to know that he is in front by 1 second. He can see it on the checkpoint times. He's just going to slow down, take an inside line, nice and easy. Make sure he doesn't fly out. And that's going to be a free point for Bren right here. Very well played. Bren is now also going to put himself in the finalist situation. Winning here does give you access to the first champions match. So the players do want to get this. Bren unfortunately touching the inside on his finalist attempt right here. And it's going to be difficult for him to close it out. Mime and Carl Jr. Mime really looking to get that first point. Carl Jr. looking to get into finalist mode. Mime with a huge mistake into the CP. And we're going to say goodbye to Mime right there. Bren is half a second behind. As long as Carl Jr. is going to get a safe ending here, he should be able to close his finalist position in. Getting a nice left-handed turn. Bren is not close enough to overtake, and Carl Jr. going into finalist mode. Denying Bren the victory for now. We have a double finalist situation. Mime has to deny the finalists the first place 3 rounds in a row if he wants to win this. Mime on first once again on the start. He has a very solid start on this map. Low jump there from Mime into the no slide section. Everybody seems to be doing it very well. Mime does keep a hold of his first place for now though. Bren and Carl Jr. looking to close the gap. Bren with a little bit more speed actually overtaking Mime. Does not slide out even Mime with a more inside line. It's such a tight field right here. Bren actually getting a little bit further away from the pack here. And he's getting such a nice inside line. Carl Jr. trying to snipe it. Very, very close. But Bren is gonna get his finalist secured and take the second place here on Water Glider. Aurel and Bren going on to champion match 1. We have Group 3 and Group 4 still playing. Mudda, Masa, Afi, and Kappa. Scrappy has won his. Mudda has won here. Oh, and just like that, the others are done as well. And we're gonna have to jump into the first match in the different brackets. So, right here, we're gonna look at Grassland. And the champions match is gonna consist of Aurel, Bren, Papu, and Gwen. Right? These players have all won twice. So, we're going to be following the champion matches, boys. These players have not lost yet. Now, Grassland has the world record from Mudda. You can see the 102.6. Whoops. There you go. Mime with the second place. Masa and Pack, third and fourth. And Grenade with the fifth place on the map. We're just going to wait for the players to join in and for the warm-up to end. Meanwhile, we can talk a little bit about the map here. If I go into Cam 7, we can fly around and take a look at the identity. Now, this map is also pretty technical. I think it's one of the harder maps, and especially the ending. If we look at the identity over here, this is the identity. Players are going to come in with a lot of speed from this straight section. Then they're going to land on the rightmost platform. They're going to land on the rightmost platform and a 90-degree drift. Because they landed a 90-degree drift, they're going to get a lot of traction, and they're going to drift through this first little bridge over here, driving through the checkpoint. Then once they enter the second platform, they're going to straighten out their car and drive over the next bridge with a no slide. Now, because they land with so high speed, and they're going to keep full grip on the grass when they land on the right section right here on the right platform, it's going to be very, very difficult to just drive through this very, very narrow bridge. We're going to see how the players are going to perform this. Some people are going to go for a more outside approach. Some people are going to go for a more inside approach. I personally think the outside approach looks more consistent, but it is what the players are going to be comfortable with. We're going to see Bren go into it right now. Going for an outside approach, landing in a 9-degree turn, getting the slide, going into the next section with a no drift. This is very, very difficult to do, because once you have to exit the slide, you got a lot of speed. You got to make sure you exit the slide, go into a no drift. That means you can't turn fully. And also, if you have too much speed, you're going to slide out. It's just very difficult. We're going to see some stirrups in the positions there in the ending. So, we got a full French matchup here in the champions match. Now, the top two players in this match are going to continue down to champions match 2, while the bottom two players are going to jump down to gold match. The same with the top two players from the gold match are going to jump up to the champions match, the next one. And we're going to see those players next time. Jumping into the first round, players are going to go for a really tight line here in the start, trying to jump as close to the first CP as possible to minimize that airtime. Going into the grass section, players are trying to get the speed slide inside line right here. Everybody just fine. Such a tight pack right now. Everybody neck and neck wants to go into this engine off section with as much speed as possible. Going for high exit speed on the exit of this wall ride. Papoo in front. Players are 0.2 away from each other. Very close field so far. Oh, Bren with a mistake right here. Gwen and Papoo in front. Aurel also with a slight mistake. We're going to see Gwen and Papoo fighting it out for the last section here in the identity. Gwen going super outside. Is it going to pay off? Is he going to overtake Papoo? And it's actually almost going to happen. Papoo does maintain the lead with a little bit more of an inside turn in the ending right there. You could see both the players going for a no slide though. And that is what you want to see. The no slide is the fastest way to do it. We're going to notice all the players going for it. Once again, an inside jump right here, as close to the CP as possible, minimizing that air time, trying to get as much time on the ground to accelerate on. A few speed drifts on the grass, landing in a left-handed slide. This upcoming engine off section is super important to get a good speed into, because the speed you get into it, you're not going to increase for quite a while, and you can get an overtake or two during that section. We see a few wiggles on the grass into the loop. Papoo won first. Trying to go for a low line on the grass right here. Making sure that the players, they don't get too much of a slidey transition. Oh, we see somebody flying to Mars. Bren and Aurel on first. Gwen trying to overtake here in the ending. Gwen does not get it. Bren maintains the first place. Very well played. A 102.94. Into the next round. We're once again going to see a few differences in the lines here on the grass, trying to maximize those speed slides for the few hundreds that it does give. Everybody doing just fine. Less than 0.1 separating the players. Gwen going for a pretty tight line right there. Does do it just fine. He overtakes everybody, gains the lead. Aurel trying to pressure the others. Gwen and Bren. So close to each other right here. Gwen going for a little bit more of a drift heavy line. Loses a little bit of the exit speed, but nothing is over yet. It is all down to the identity right here. Looking from Gwen's perspective. Oh, the players are doing such a nice line right here. Aurel trying to overtake. Bren does maintain the lead. It does look like Bren has a pretty consistent ending going on. So I will try to see if I can see from his perspective. He is on a finalist position, securing the finalist already. 2 out of the 3 points. The other players are looking to deny Bren the victory here. Bren has made a mistake. He's in the back. 0.7 seconds behind. Going into the engine off section, the players are very close to each other. We're talking less than 1/10 separating the players right here. Let's see who gets the most exit speed out of the looping. They're all very neck and neck right here. Papoo trying to extend his lead, advancing a little bit away from the field. Getting a nice inside line here. Gwen going into the last section of the identity here. Papoo in front, Aurel right behind. Aurel makes a wrong slide. Papoo alone in the front. Gwen was not able to overtake. Papoo does get the second point and also puts themselves in a finalist situation. Aurel and Gwen without any points have to deny the 2 other players now. This could be the final round for Papu or Bren. Bren on first right now. Really trying to close out that finalist. Aurel getting such a nice inside line on that turn. Ooh, he's going to lose a little bit of exit speed, I think, right there. No, he gains on the field. Actually going really wide. Risks it a little bit, but it does help him out. Bren and Papu, top 1 and 2. Less than 200 separating the players right now. Oh, Bren hitting the inside wall right there, and that's going to be him out for this round. Papu takes the lead going into the last section, going for a super inside line. Papu does make it, Aurel does make it. Is he going to be able to overtake Papu? And Papu's almost there, but Bren maintains the lead. 24 hundredths ahead of Papu. Aurel does deny Papu that finalist victory. Looking at the field, everybody is super close once again. Gwen has made a mistake, though, and chooses to DNF. Sometimes it is beneficial to DNF, reset the mindset, come back even stronger for next round. Now it is all up to Aurel. Is he able to deny the 2 finalists? If he denies the 2 finalists, he does become finalist himself, and we have a triple finalist situation on our hands. But it's all up to the last section here. The identity of the map, landing in a 90-degree turn. Papu in front. Aurel trying to get an inside line, but both Papu and Aurel make a mistake, and Bren is actually the only one surviving. Even though he was on 3rd place, he gets gifted the victory, and that is how it goes. The identity giveth, and the identity taketh away. Bren does take the 1st place here on Grassland. Papu really looking to close it out right now. Such a tight map. Everybody's going to be close to each other all the way until the ending. Unless any major mistakes come out. We see almost the same line going from all the 3 players. You can choose to get a little bit more exit speed, but it is more risky. You can hit that outside wall if you choose to do so. Aurel in the back. Gwen really trying to take it away from Papu here. Aurel looking to become finalist. Does gain a little bit in on the field here. Papu on first. Is he going to close it out? Papu getting the 1st turn just fine. Aurel trying to overtake. Is he going to be able to overtake Papu? It is so close, but he slides out and Papu maintains the lead. And Papu is going to get the 2nd victor. Going to be the 2nd victor of Grassland. Bren and Papu taking it. Looking at Group 2 here. Mime has currently won Group 2. Carl Jr. is in a finalist situation. Grenadi with a point and Otak with no points so far. Let's see where the players are at. Jumping straight into it. Grenadi won a point more, putting himself in the finalist situation. It's a double finalist situation between Carl Jr. and Grenadi. Otak needs to do a 3-0 bob down if he wants to come back here. The players are going to be super close in the start here. Grenadi actually going for a more outside approach, trying to get more exit speed here on the jump. It does look like it's working out. He is neck and neck with Carl Jr. 3,000 separating the players. Into the no engine section. Carl Jr. is on first. Is he going to get the most exit speed on the downhill? It does look like he maintains the lead. Actually extends the lead a little bit. Going for an inside Grassland. Grenadi gets it really, really nice. Gaining a little bit on the 2 other players. He's now on 2nd place. Otak only point or 800s behind. Going into the last section right here. Is it going to be Grenady or is it going to be Carl Jr.? Carl Jr. slides out. Otag also with the mistake. And Grenady is going to take a free entrance into the Champions Match 2. Carl Jr. unfortunately not able to close out his finalist mode. Grenady getting a quick 2-0 while we jumped in here. We can take a look here at Group 3. They're still not done yet. Scrappy currently on finalist. Masa and Park with a point each. Mutta did win. And all the rounds are now done. So, Mutta and Scrappy won. Alfie and Binks won 4th. So, we're going to see Brennan Papu versus Mime and Grenady here. On the Champion Match 2. So let's jump into it. So, we can quickly take a look at Touchdown right now. Touchdown is the next match that is going to be played. Let's take a quick look before the match starts at how Touchdown looks. So, that was a Touchdown there. Very, very interesting map, especially the identity. Especially the identity. Looking at Grenady here. He does hold the world record with a 112.5. You just have to get up, touch that checkpoint, and then get down again. And you're going to notice, you can hear it as well. He didn't actually get it right there. You're going to hear it as well, that the players are going to be releasing just as they enter the air. And then right when they hit the apex of the jump, they're going to start accelerating again. And that is because there are some physics with the Trackmania car where if you release and you accelerate in the air, it actually affects your car's speed in the air. So it's a very, very interesting matchup right here. Now, Bren, Grenady, Papu, and Mime. All very, very recognizable names. Mime is probably the newest one here in the Tmgl scene. Grenady was there last time. Grenady is also the only wheel player in the entire Trackmania Grand League playing with a steering wheel. And he also holds a world record on this map with that steering wheel. Ten seconds of warm-up before we jump into the match here. You can always refer to the world record at the top left corner with a 112.553 if you're ever curious what the pace these guys are driving at. It's going to be incredible. Going into the first round, we see the players very tight here. A tight pack, trying to minimize airtime on this left to right section. We're going to see a few different approaches here, maybe. All the players going a little tight. Mime going the tightest, though. You can opt to go really tight on that right-handed turn there with the engine off. But if you don't get it perfectly, you're going to get too little exit speed and people will overtake you. Right here, people trying to minimize the drift. Setting up for a left-handed drift on the sausage block. Bren in front. Going into the identity right here. All the players are very close to each other. Let's see who's going to get the lowest jumps. Bren barely making it, but it does look he makes it, and everybody is still so close to each other. Mime is able to overtake and goes for such a low line, and Mime might be able to take it, but Bren has more exit speed, but Mime and Bren are so close to each other. Actually, there's a mistake. There's two mistakes, and Papu takes it. Unfortunate by Mime and Bren making mistakes in the very ending of the map after the identity. Just a few turns separating them from getting the victory. Second round. Papu getting gifted the first round right there. You love to see some tight matches. Mime on first currently. Papu with a really tight line. He might lose some exit speed right there. I don't think it actually was too bad. Going for an inside line right here. Trying to overtake Grenadi. Does seem to be able to do so. Is his exit speed there as well? I think it is. Mime is now getting pressured by Papu. Mime with an inside line. Grenadi with the overtake. Papu with the more exit speed. Actually trying to get in on Mime right here. We see a few different lines. Mime going really tight. Papu going a little bit more outside. Mime going with a low jump though. Maintains the lead. Last jump before the ending. Barely making it, but Mime does make it, maintaining the lead. Once again, Papu is going to try to close it in, but it does not happen. Mime almost hitting the finish post, but he is in with a 112.7. Very, very nice time for Mime. Top 10 in the world. Third round going in. Two separate players getting the 2 points. Nothing is over yet. Papu with the inside line. Gaining in on Mime right there. Oh, that is super wide. And Papu has to press the brake button to make sure he doesn't fly out the map. Doesn't get the exit speed because of it. And is going to be left behind a little bit. 0.5 a loss to that. Grenadi and Mime fighting it in the front. Bren right behind them. Grenadi and Mime neck and neck going into the final identity right here. One jump. Both of them just touching with the back left wheel. You love to see it. Once again, just making it. Mime actually jumping super high, and Grenadi is going to be able to overtake. Is he going to clutch it all the way to the finish? And it does seem like he is. Grenadi taking the point away from Mime with that last jump. Grenadi now with a point to his own name. All the players are going to be super tight here in the start of the round as well. We're going to see the players go for a little bit of a different line here in the grass section. Some of them are going a little wider. Some of them are going tighter. Opting for what they think is the most consistent for them. The field is so close right now. Players are driving on top of each other. Bren going for an inside line. Almost clipping that inside wall. And we see Grenadi almost flying out the map, but he does maintain it. Does not crash. Everybody once again really close. It does look like Grenadi unfortunately hit this checkpoint. Papu in a good lead. Bren with a super low jump right here. Actually gaining a ton of time in on Papu. Papu going for a low jump once again. I don't know if Bren made that, but Papu is still going to maintain first place. And Papu is going to take it 2 rounds in a row. 112.5. Actually getting the world record in the middle of the map. Getting the finalist position. Papu with an exceptional performance. Well played by Papu, the French player known for his dirt skills. Let's see if he can clutch out that victory now. He is on the finalist position, going for a really wide line, trying to get more exit speed. He does get it. Bren with less speed. Mime and Papu in front though. They're trying to extend their lead. They're only 300s away from each other. The rest of the pack is 0.1, 0.2 behind. Mime going for the inside line. Bren going for the inside line as well. Not getting the exit speed though. Papu is maybe going to be able to overtake with that exit speed. Mime and Papu so close to each other. Papu in front. Grenadier on second. I think Mime made a mistake and Papu might be able to close it out right here. Is Papu gonna get 3 quick victories in a row? Papu with an exceptional performance. 3 victories in a row. One of them getting the world record on. Very well played by Papu. Mime, Grenadier, and Bren are now gonna fight it for the second place. Oh, it was not in a row. That is my bad. Commentator is having a little bit of a memory fault. We have Grenadier and Bren in front. Mime actually getting in on it as well. Getting less extra speed. Grenadier staying in front, trying to extend his lead. Bren with a really inside line. Trying to pressure. Does so successfully. Getting very close to Grenadier right here. Getting a little bit of airtime on that transition. And Grenadier executes it very well. Does get his... Oh, Bren with the speed though. Trying to get in on Grenadier as well. Very low jump from Bren right here. And he does overtake. Grenadier doesn't get the CP, and I think we're gonna be looking at Bren getting it. Everybody just seems to either DNF or stop their car, and Bren is gonna take it. So if they don't get that, if they don't get the CP, the players have a tendency to, oh, are we seeing a little bit of a break? Are we seeing a little bit of a break here? Match has been paused. Technical difficulties are happening. I cannot tell you what the difficulties are. Grenadier's wheel might have died. We're seeing inputs. He can drive back and forth. It might be back right here. Unfortunate issues coming in for Grenadier. Currently, it is all 3 players with a point each to their name. Each player looking to become finalist. Bren with a tight line trying to overtake Grenadier. He's going to have less exit speed though. Mime in the back. 0.2 away from the field. Trying to get in. Gets a really nice line here. He might be able to gain a little bit of time because of that. Nice. No airtime on the transition. He does close in on the field. Bren in front. Grenadier right behind. Mime taking a different approach into the jump. Bren maintains the lead. Grenadier right behind him though. Mime once again with a slightly different line. Does overtake Grenady though. Bren with a demanding lead just has to make it into the finish, and he does so. And it's another world record from Bren with a 1:12.39. Very, very spectacular performance by the players today. $112.39 driven last round. That is something of a statement being said here on stage. Bren in the lead. Tries to extend his lead. Grenady trying to attack here. Getting a good amount of exit speed. Going for the inside line. No airtime. And inside line once again. Really trying to push it right here to get in on Bren. Bren maintains the lead though. There's 0.1 of a difference between the two players. Bren hitting the checkpoint. Grenady is now the lead. Mime is going to try to overtake right here. But I think Grenady is going to have it down. Just has to get into the finish. And Grenady is going to get that finalist position as well. Unfortunate hitting that checkpoint. It can be very difficult getting those high jumps without touching anything. It's very calculated jumps coming here from the players, mostly down to your muscle memory. Inside line coming in here from all the players. Grenady in the back though. With a really outside line here from Grenady. Touching the penalty dirt. Mime and Bren in front. Grenady trying to get the speed into this transition. No airtime, tight line, trying to push it. Mime gets a good amount of speed. Grenady drives over the water. Mime trying to get in on Bren right here. He has to deny Bren if he doesn't want Bren to get that second place. Mime does overtake. Is he able to keep it? Bren with such a low line, but I don't think Bren actually hit the CP. Or am I wrong? No, Bren did not hit the CP. It does look like it's a tight race, but it is actually not. Bren 4.5 seconds behind. But Mime takes it, and it's going to be a triple finalist situation. Going into the very last round here of touchdown. Triple finalist situation. It is now or never for the players. Mime going for a super outside line. Unfortunately crashing. It is down to Gren and Grenady. Both players driving tight lines. Grenady unfortunately with a real issue a second ago here, but he has bounced back. Bren in the lead though. Grenady trying to get a good amount of exit speed right here. It does seem like he does get it. He is gaining a little bit in on Bren right now. Grenady is trying to get a low line. Does jump pretty high, but gets more exit speed. Is he gonna get closer to Bren? Bren gets a very low jump right here, and I think Bren is going to maintain the lead if he just keeps a good line into the finish, and he does. Bren taking the second victory, or the second place on touchdown. Well played, very well played, spectacular races being done here. We saw two separate world records being driven. You cannot complain about that performance. Let's take a look if the other matches are done. I'm going to assume they are. It's a triple finalist situation here. So we're going to see if we can make it into the server before the match is over. It's going to be tight. Pack wins the match. So no, we did not make it. But we're going to be able to see the standings right now. And the standings are as follows. Papu and Bren, 1. Aurel and Mutta won Group 2. Called Union Otak Group 3. And Pack and Masa in Group 4. Now we're looking at the Champions Match 3 being driven on Clock Tower. And we're once again going to be looking into Clock Tower. So let's just show you guys how Clock Tower looks right here. And we're back in the game. That was Clock Tower. A very difficult map once again. And it's the final map of today. Can I once again verify that we are going to be looking at the gold match first and then the challengers match afterwards. So, as you can see here, these are the 4 different groups here at the bottom of the screen. I am shaking the groups right here. You can see Group 4 is Afi, Binks, Kappa, and Spam. They're going to be fighting for the bronze medals. Then the Group 3, Scrappy, Gwen, Pak, and Masa. They're going to be fighting for the silver and bronze medals. Group 2 is going to be fighting for the gold and silver medals. That's Mime, Granati, Called Junior, and Otak. And then up here in Group 1, we're going to see this in a second. It's going to be Papu, Bren, Aurel, and Mutta fighting for the challenger medals. And only 2 people are going to get those. Okay. So we're starting off watching the gold match right here. World record top left screen by Masa. 105.562. Now, there are a few things on this map that you guys might want to know. Right here, Otak went for a really wide line, which does preserve as much speed as possible for the rest of the map. But he also has to stay wide because the transition, if he doesn't stay wide, the transition is going to give him airtime, reducing the amount of time he has to accelerate on the floor. And that's why he also wants to go tight, because that little bounce is going to make sure that he doesn't get the airtime. There's a bunch of small optimizations throughout this entire track that we're going to see the players do. The very last jump is also going to maybe stir up a little bit of the positions here by the end of the map. The last few seconds of the warm-up, and we're going to be jumping into the first round of the gold match. And we have started. Otak, Carl Jr., Granati, and Mime are going to fight it out for these gold medals right here. Top 2 are going to get gold medals. The bottom 2 are going to get the silver ones. Carl Jr. in front. Going for a nice tight line here, everybody. Making sure they don't get any airtime. Going into a left-handed drift, setting up for a wide line. Trying to get no airtime on the transition can be difficult. Otak with a little bit of airtime there on that transition. Otak going really tight. You can risk flying out, and we see a person actually hitting the outside wall. I think it's Mime, unfortunately, hitting the outside wall. He's going to be out for the round. Grenady on first place. Carl Jr. trying to push really, really wide line. I think he might have hit the outside wall as well. Grenady is now alone in the lead. 0.5 to work with. He just needs to hit this jump, and he's gonna take the first point. Carl Jr. jumping really low. Grenady also with the mistakes. So many mistakes in the ending, and Otak is actually maybe taking it. Grenady does make it though. Otak on second. Carl Jr. on third. What an ending. And that is what I was just talking about. The jump into the clock tower can be super difficult and very, very risky. And we might see some positions getting stirred up there at the very ending. So don't count any of the players out. If they're 0.4, 0.5 behind, all it takes is one mistake in that ending, and they're back in it. Carl Jr. with a really nice lead. 0.2 to his name already in the start right here. Otak trying to advance in on the field, getting a little bit of airtime, losing that exit speed, going for a super inside line right here. Grenady also with the inside line. Carl Jr. maintaining the lead. We're seeing the field trying to pressure up on Carl Jr., but he is keeping it cool, calm, and collected right here. Going into the final left-handed turn before the identity. All that stands between Carl Jr. and the point is the last jump right here. Let's see if he gets it this time. Everybody is so close to each other. Carl Jr. lands it, and it does seem like he's going to be getting it. Carl Jr. getting first, 105.94. Very nice time as well. Don't get baited by the top left corner. It's not a world record, even though it says it sometimes. Carl Jr. once again with a very nice lead. Mime right behind him, 0.2 seconds. Otak trying to get it on the field. Mime hitting the outside wall. That's the risky business of going super wide. Carl Jr. maintains a very solid lead. Otak once again with the airtime. Makes me think that it's not a coincidence. Maybe he does that on purpose. Maybe that's his comfortable line. Carl Jr. maintains a 0.3 lead. Grenady really looking to pressure him to get a little bit closer to the 4-time world champion going into the last left-handed turn before the jump. Let's see if Grenady can overtake here in the ending. Carl Jr. does land it just fine. Grenady does also get a really nice landing, but Carl Jr. maintains it with a 105.64. That's a very nice time. Top 5 time there from Carl Jr. Putting himself in finalist position. Carl Jr. actually doing a little bit of a wiggling strategy in the start there, if you saw that. It does seem like the ice wiggles from Carl Jr. does give him a few hundreds extra to work with. Mime once again hitting that outside wall. Grenady is now trying to deny Carl Jr. that finalist win. Grenady going super inside line. Carl Jr. does maintain the lead though. Otak is also very close to the field. Carl Jr. with a 0.3 lead though. Really on a higher pace here from Carl Jr. Grenady is going to try to attack here in the ending. Carl Jr. one jump away from the gold medal. And he does get it. Carl Jr. the first one to secure the gold medal. Well played. 107.75. Really good pace coming in from Carl Jr. I wonder if we'll see any other players going for the ice wiggle here in the start. Maybe in the challenger match right after. So the top 2 players here, they're going to get the gold medal. And the bottom 2 players are going to get the silver medal. So Carl Jr. has secured himself the gold medal right here. Otak with a very nice start. 0.3 ahead of the field. Mime right behind him, trying to close in the gap. Otak once again with a nice and tight line. Does maintain a 0.4 lead. Very nice. Jumps super wide and unfortunately hits the outside wall. Mime gets the overtake in on Otak. Grenade 1 second behind, and Mime is now in front with 0.4 of a second. Going into the identity jump. Mime jumps a little bit far right, but it does manage to make it, and Mime is now getting himself a point right here. 1 point for Mime, 1 point for Grenade. All these players are going for nice straight ice lines right there. No wiggles. Don't want to risk it. Mime with a very nice start-in section. Already 1500s away from the pack. Setting up this wide line with a drift. Mime has made a mistake twice hitting that outside wall, but it doesn't happen again. Otak actually gaining in on Mime, but due to that airtime that he keeps getting, he actually does not get the same amount of speed out of that section. But that inside line actually makes up for it, and he's now in the lead. Mime and Grenade right behind though, and it's such a tight field. Otak maintains the lead with 500s, 600s of a second. Grenade attacking here in the ending. Such a quick line, but Otak with the inside. Who's gonna get the best jump? Grenade with the mistake. Otak and Mime. Otak maintains the lead. Mime almost sniping, but he's gonna maintain the lead. Otak, and also 1 point to his name. Everybody in the match has 1 point now. They're all equal. Players are trying to go for as low of a jump as possible there in the start. Trying to get as much ground contact as possible. Mime doing it really well. Otak, unfortunately, getting a mistake from the very start. 5 seconds behind. It is down to Mime and Grenade here. Both going for a really nice outside line. Grenade getting a no slide. Mime hitting the inside wall. Grenade now all alone in the front. He just has to clutch the rest of the map. 0.6 seconds ahead. Let's see what is the time now. 0.7. He's extending his lead. Can he clutch the last jump into the clock tower? And he will put himself in a finalist position. Nice and tight line. Jumping. Does look like he's setting it up perfectly. And we will see Grenade as the first finalist. Well, the second outside of Carl Jr., but the first of these 3 players. Grenade now in a finalist position. We're going to see Mime and Otak really trying to push it, trying to deny Grenade that finalist win. This map is really important to win. Top 2 players once again getting the gold medals. Bottom 2 are getting the silver ones. It can be the deciding factor in the ending of the season. Mime in front. Grenade trying to push in on Mime. Going for a little bit of a wider line. Loses a bit of time. Mime extending his lead a little bit. Going in, dropping down to a left-handed turn. Everybody seems to execute it just fine. Mime maintaining a 0.2 lead entering the identity. Let's see if he can maintain the jump here. Very low line from Mime, and this is going to work out. It does seem like it's going to work out. Grenade also with a very, very nice jump, not able to overtake. Mime now also putting himself in a finalist position, and it's down to Otak to see if he can deny these players. Mime getting the lowest line in the start. Therefore, is now 0.1 ahead of the field. He does touch the penalty set a little bit there on the inside. Not too bad, though. Grenade tries to overtake. Such a close field right now. Mime has lost the 0.1 lead he had a second ago. Let's see who gets the tightest line right here without flying out. Grenade going really tight. Mime does execute it the best, though. Otak is so close. He needs to deny these players if he wants to maintain a chance at getting the gold medal. Mime and Grenade neck and neck. Only one jump separating the players from the gold medal right here. Grenade getting it super well. Mime trying to overtake her in the ending, but Grenade gets more of an inside line, and he does maintain it. Grenade with the second place and the second gold medal of Step 2 of Tmgl. Carl Jr. and Grenade winning the match. We can take a look at the other groups as well. So Carl Jr. and Mime getting the gold medal. Grenade and Otak, silver. Same with Pack and Scrappy, also silver. Masa, Gwen, Binks, and Afi gonna get bronze, and then Kappa and Spam, unfortunately, without any medals for this step. I will go through it once again after we've seen the challenger group here, the challenger bracket. So, right now, the top 2 players of this match are gonna get the challenger medals, the most prestigious medals you can get in the Tmgl. So winning this matchup is going to be very, very important. We're just waiting for all the players to join in. Sorry, the challenger medals. The challenger medals. Well, it does say champion at the top left. Doesn't matter. We have all the players in the match. The match should be starting shortly. Okay. So, I think the warm-up is about to end here. All these players seem to have decent PBs. Some of them I can't see on the leaderboard, though. So I'm interested to see their pace during the actual match here. Match is going to be starting. We have the final 10 seconds of the warm-up starting up right here. It's going to be interesting to see the pace the guys are running with. Let's see if anybody is doing the starting wiggles that we saw Carl Jr. do. It does not seem like anybody's doing it. Maybe Bren, he didn't start together with the others. So, it is the first match of the champion division here in the Tmgl. Everybody going for a low jump. Papu getting such a low jump. Very nicely done. Gaining in on Mutta in the front. Going for a tight dirt line right here. Trying to gain in on Mutta. Setting up for a left-handed turn into an outside dirt line right here. Everybody seems to be executing it just fine. The pack is very, very tight. Aurel a little bit in the back by 0.1. Nothing is over yet, though. Nice inside lines. Bren almost flying out, but he does maintain the ground contact. Bren and Mutta in the lead. Aurel trying to pressure them, going into the last left-handed slide before the jump into clock tower. Mutta and Bren seem to be landing just fine. Is Aurel trying to overtake? It does not happen, and Mutta maintains the first place. Very well done. 105.8 by Mutta, taking the first point of the champion division. Great first race. Mutta actually getting such a clean start on the ice. Can actually afford to jump a little higher than the other players and still maintain a solid lead right here. You see Brent going really low on the dirt section right here. Mutta maintains his lead. The pack is still really close to each other though. Aurel trying to advance on the field. Mutta trying to hold his lead. Mutta is alone in the front. That's a little bit of a sketchy line though. Is he going to maintain the speed? That's a low jump from Mutta. Was that on purpose? Aurel trying to attack right here. It's a triple situation for the final jump. Is it going to be Papu, Mutta, or Aurel? Both Mutta and Aurel, or Papu jump out, and Aurel is going to take the victory. It is very difficult to land that section right there. Aurel getting gifted a point. We're gonna see what Mutta is doing. Mutta doing such heavy wiggles in the start, making him get. We're gonna see that in the next start right here. But Mutta doing some very sharp wiggling in the start. It looks like he has found a secret technique that the other players haven't really thought about. Papu getting the outside line, actually almost touching the outside wall. I cannot understand how that wasn't a touch. Getting a little bit of airtime. Is going to lose a little bit of time because of it. The field is very close though. Papu gaining airtime. Is that going to affect his speed? Not too much. The field is so close to each other. Going into the final jump here before the right-hander into a left-hander before the identity. Papu in the front. One jump separating the players from the victory right here. Papu going low. Aurel trying to overtake. Aurel actually getting an overtake, and he's going to get 2 rounds in a row, giving himself the finalist position. There's now only 1 round separating Aurel from that champion's medal. Let's take a look at Mutta's icy start here. Going inside and then doing some heavy ice wiggles. And it does seem like it really pays off. He gets such nice speed. Unfortunately, getting a little bit of a high jump right afterwards. Getting in a little bit too much airtime. But it's still definitely such a good line from Mutta in the start. Very, very nice technique to have in your pocket. And this is why you sometimes don't see the players in the top 10 or even top 20 in the world on these maps, because they might be practicing these maps in secret because they got some lines that the others don't. Mutta in the lead. Unfortunately hitting the inside wall, and Papu is now going to be gifted the lead. Mutta is going to be behind. Papu in front. Aurel and Bren right behind. Papu has to maintain the lead or hope for Bren, because if Aurel wins this, he is going to get that victory. So many people hitting the outside. Everybody hitting the outside. What is happening? Bren is actually going to maintain the lead because everybody made a mistake in the ending. Bren getting gifted a point. Mutta once again with the wicked strat in the start. He does get a lot of airtime though, so people do gain on him. But I think it's a more safe start than getting that very, very low airtime. Mutter with a really inside line, actually hitting a little bit of the penalty grass. Bren overtaking, setting up for the left-handed turn into a wide line on the dirt. Doing a little bit of a no slide, no airtime on the transition. Bren and Papu in the lead. Aurel and Mutter right behind. 0.1 separating the players. Aurel 0.2 behind. He really wants to close this out. All the other players are trying to deny Aurel the victory. Aurel trying really to push in on the field. Really trying to pressure Papu right here. Overtaking another person. Papu's the only one standing in the way. Can Aurel get an overtake here in the ending? Really trying for the inside line. Is he going to get it? Almost, but Papu maintains the lead. 0.06 of a second ahead of Bren. 105.74. Such a close ending. Aurel still the only finalist in the game, though. Mutter with a really sideways jump right there. Papu in the lead going into the bank turn. Very close field. Everybody seems to be executing the wide line just fine. Aurel getting a little bit of airtime, I think. Not the best. Also airtime right here for Aurel. Mutter and Papu might be trying to gain a little bit more time from the rest of the field. Bren has made a small mistake. Now in the back. Aurel trying to pressure the field once again. Mutter and Papu have to hold their positions. Let's see if Aurel once again is close to taking it. Going for an inside line. Into the jump we go. Mutter and Papu seem to be executing. Mutter is missing, I think. No, he is not. He barely made it, but Aurel is overtaking. He is not. Almost. Mutter maintaining the lead, though. Aurel really risking for the inside line. Mutter maintaining the lead, getting into the finalist position. We now have two finalists, Mutter and Aurel, both of them going for the victory. The top two players right here are gonna be getting the champion's medal. The bottom two are gonna get the gold medal. These players are gonna risk it for that medal. Mutter in the lead, Aurel on third. Mutter with no airtime might be extending his lead a little bit here. Papu with a really nice inside line. Might be advancing a little bit on the field. Mutter in the lead. 0.1 ahead of the field right here. Is he going to maintain the lead in the ending? Papu really trying to push it here in the ending. Mutter going into the final stretch in the lead. Only one jump separating him. Is he going to maintain it? Aurel has DNF. Can Papu clutch it? Oh no! Mutter hitting the outside of the checkpoint. Papu does go into another finalist. We have a triple finalist situation in the last in the last match, in the last champions match right here. Wow. Wow. Just top tier suspense happening right now. Can Bren deny these three finalists and get into a quadruple finalist situation? Mutter on first. Oh, Papu with the mistake. Bren still in it to win it. He is really gonna push it right now to see if he can deny all the three finalists. Mutter on first. Bren with no airtime, trying to get in on Mutter right here. Aurel sinking a little bit more behind. 0.3 behind here. Mutter is maintaining his 0.1 lead though. Bren trying to push it. Going for an inside line right here. Mutter does execute it well as well. Oh, that's such a risky line. Bren really trying to push it. Trying to make sure that Mutter doesn't get the victory right here. Can he deny Mutter? Is he gonna make it? That's such a close line, but Mutter does maintain it. And Mutter is gonna be the first victor of Clock Tower and of the Tmgl Step 2. GG's. Well played, Mutter. We now have the top 3 players. Still 3 players here left to go. They want the medal just as much as Mudda wanted to. The next person that's gonna get that finalist over with is also gonna get a champion's medal. Bren in the lead, really wanting to deny the 2 other finalists here. He does maintain a nice lead. Papu trying to attack with an inside line though. Bren maintains the lead. 0.1 ahead. Papu trying to attack. Papu going for an inside line, losing a little bit of extra speed because he had to extend his drift. Bren in front. Can he maintain the jump here? Lands just fine. I think he's going to make it. Bren maintains the lead, and there's now going to be a triple finalist situation for the 2nd place of the Tmgl Step 2. Final round of the Tmgl Step 2 right here. Triple finalist situation. Aurel, Papu, and Brent fighting it out here. Papu getting a low line there on the jump. Going for an inside bank dirt turn right here. Just making sure he doesn't touch that penalty grass. Sets up for an outside drift here on the dirt. Aurel and Papu really fighting it out here in the front. Brent 0.2 behind. He's not out yet though. Brent and Papu really fighting it out here. There's 200 separating the players. Papu in the lead. Aurel trying to attack with an inside line. Aurel almost not making that jump. He really is sending it. Trying to get it in here. Going for a super tight line. Papu going a little bit wider. Papu with more exit speed. Is he gonna maintain the lead? That's such a risky ending by Papu. Papu does not make it. Aurel is gonna be the 2nd place victor on Clock Tower. Tmgl Step 2. GG's. Well played by all of the players here. Well played by all of the players. And that was Tmgl Step 2 for you guys. So, we can take a look at the standings, guys. We can take a look at the standings really quickly so that everybody knows how it is. For now, I can't actually take the standings up, so I will be looking here in the actual game. Here we go. So, the standings are as follows. Mudda and Aurel take the 1st place. They're gonna get the Champions Medal. Papu, Brent, Carl Jr., and Grenadi gonna get that gold medal. Mime, Otak, Pack, and Scrappy gonna get the silver medal. Masa, Gwen, Binks, and Afi with the bronze, and Kappa and Spam unfortunately not getting it. I will see if I can bring up the actual scores here. What an exciting step, guys. I'm gonna see if I can bring up the scores. We had multiple world records happen during the step as well. And that triple finalist situation in the ending. There's nothing more you can really want, right? Definitely such a good ending to such an exciting step. Taking a look, seeing if I can find the scores here. Might just take a second for them to get in. I have been your host, by the way. My name is Jnic. I do appreciate all of you taking good care of me while I do this interning, kind of. Just getting you through this Tmgl step for virtual as he is in LA. I did enjoy it. Hope you all had great fun. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the chat in the next Tmgl step, guys. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here.